I noticed that a lot of people tend to complain about, sorry, tend to complain about grocery stores. And, I've done that a little bit. But now that I work at one, things have started to make a little bit more sense in that you just start to realize what it takes to provide good prices to the customers and the proper amount of customer service. So, a common complaint is not enough registers are going, right? You get there, you see, 20 registers, and there's only 3 or 4 or whatever lit up, right? And then there's the self-checkout now, but let's just say actual cashiered, registers. And you might have to wait, a certain amount of time in line. So a lot of people start to kind of complain if they have to wait at all, right? But the fact is, the store just can't afford to man all of those registers and still provide you the same prices. Now, if you want them to have if the customers wanted them to have all the registers manned, that would be possible, but we'd have to charge you twice as much for a pound of meat to be able to cover the cost of doing that all the time. So, the stores in general have figured out what's an acceptable amount of time to wait, right? Are people obeying the rules and not taking 30 items through a 20-item register and stuff like that? Now, there are times where, it gets busy. Like Sunday is just a huge, huge shopping day. It's like mayhem. Like, in all honesty, everybody, Sunday's probably the worst day to go shopping because it's so busy. People show up at like 10, 11 in the morning after church. They buy everything. I mean, the shelves just get emptied, right? So the day shift, sales associates and stockers are just trying to keep up, right? And by the time the after work crowd gets there, because a lot of people do work Sunday now. I don't know if everybody out there knows that, but we don't all live in this fantasy world where we get weekends off. Most people don't get weekends off anymore. And if you want to get hours and you want to get a good wage, then you need to work weekends. So I'd say probably more than half the workers out there these days work weekends, especially that earn, anywhere from minimum wage to like $10 an hour. So, so people finish work on Sunday and then they want to go shopping after work, and they get to the store and there's nothing on the shelves. We've barely put a dent in it, right? So, regardless of what you might think or how convenient it is, Sunday's just not a good day to go shopping for most people. Monday would be better because overnight sometimes even Monday is pretty rough because depending on how bad it's been, Monday, the overnight may not have been able to put a very big dent in it either. There might still be a few things missing here and there. But the point is, like, let's say I was talking about registers. So let's say Sunday afternoon, about 2 o'clock, the store's just packed with people. And the registers are all full, so you'll hear on the announcements, all register-trained associates, please report to the front. And that means like anybody who's trained to use a register. I'm not, thank goodness. I hope I never get trained to use a register. So, managers will go up there. Just anybody, HR people that started as cashiers in the store. Just anybody who, has any training on registers whatsoever will go up there and start checking people out. So do you think that's the answer? No, because then the side effect is those managers aren't stocking. Because believe it or not, managers do stock. Especially those days, Saturday and Sunday, they're in the trenches almost as much as we are. They're not stocking as much as us, but, they do it. And then you're taking associates that could be stocking out of doing that and putting them on a register. So now the complaint is, this is taking a long time because you have people running registers that don't do it very often, and there's nothing on the shelves. So, one problem can beget another. And that's just one thing, right? Then you have the crowd, and I notice this more with older people. Yeah, you have the crowd that comes to the store, and maybe you're standing there stocking, you're doing this, that, or whatever, and some old person rolls up to you, and they're like, "Hey, young man, could you tell me if you have blah 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 blah? Because you used to have it, and it's a good source of soluble fiber, and I just can't find it anywhere." Okay? Well, there might be several reasons you can't find it. Stores don't tend to continually stock anything that isn't selling. So if you're the only dude buying it, well, you're probably going to have to find some other way to get it, because the big chain stores probably aren't going to keep it around. They also discontinue products all the time, or only issue them seasonally for one reason or another. I could take a Telzone scanner and go in our back storage room at the store I work at and scan 100 items, and probably 10 of them are going to show as non-replenishable. Like, that's it. That's all we have, right? That's all we have, and there probably won't be any more. And if there are going to be more, it's probably not going to be anytime soon. So you just have to realize that just like cars or anything else, any product could be discontinued at any time without notice. That's not the store's fault. And again, if the product isn't selling, they're not going to carry it. The store's point is to make money, right? And having that stuff on the shelf is not profitable. You want the shelves to get cleared out, right? I mean, I'm not saying anything here anybody doesn't already know. So, but you want the shelves to get cleared out. Sunday's actually a good thing. We sell so much ramen. People like ramen, right? Ramen's never going to go out of style, In fact, when a young person comes up to me and they're like, "Hey, where you noodles at?" I know they're not talking about spaghetti. I mean, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. But that dude wants ramen noodles. Ramen noodles and manwich are just never going to go. They're people ask for those items every day, without fail. It's very rare that a day passes where I'm not asked for at least one of those things, if not both. All right? So, there's that to keep in mind. We don't really have control over the products. It's like, one time when I worked at Dish Network, I got this call from this guy, and he's like, well, I would just like to say that I'm very upset. I got that, I ordered that pay-per-view, the Butterfly Effect, and there's implied pedophilia in it, and I can't, believe that this movie's available. And it's like, look, dude, I understand, but one, you obviously haven't watched the whole movie, because if you watch the whole movie, you'll see that he undoes that. In fact, not only does he undo it, but he makes it so her dad doesn't want to touch her in any way. Okay? Makes him scared. Secondly, we didn't make that movie. We provide all kinds of movies, It's, it's not something, that we always have, we don't have control over the content of the movie. It's in the description of the movie. It's in the rating, You can, you can look all this up online. But, we don't have any real, control over the product. We just provide products, and they're either available to us or not, right? That should be obvious. If you really want, you can request a product, and we can maybe order a small amount of it when you request it. But you are going to have to wait maybe 3 weeks or so, and the store's going to have to be willing to do it. It's not impossible to get done, but if it's discontinued, it's discontinued. The other thing kind of people tend to wonder about is, like, do you have this chip or that chip, right? Do you have these chips? And when you say, like, I think maybe we do, they get all weird about it, like, you don't know? It's like, look, there are like 200 different brands of chips here. I don't keep track of every one, there are only like 20 something aisles, but I don't know them all. I know the number of aisles we have. I know the ones that most things are on, but sometimes I do have to look. Oh, that's on aisle. It's where the flour is. Hold on, let me look. And some people get weird about that, but there's a lot to do and remember. It looks like I'm going to have a part B video to this. Hang on. Been a while.